Hi, welcome to School of Miracles. My name is Kelly Lorraine, and I'm here with Miro, and this is Chakra Mondays. We're here to talk about all things chakras. So, Miro, what are the astrological aspects for this week coming up?
Hello, Kelly. Hello, everybody. So this week we're going to have such intense aspects because, first of all, Mercury is entering in Libra, which gives us, focus on our throat chakra. And I would mention that we need to, express ourselves, but don't be forceful about, seeking the justice or seeking like the glory or something like that. If you want to, for example, receive something or fix something in your life, I think that we all need to understand, trust the process, be patient a little bit, because it's not about our action. After that, we are having as well the Mars in Gemini, which is our core. It's a fundamental chakra for us. Our existence and everything. Mars is our root chakra, and as that in Gemini gives us the moment where we are going into the basement. But of course, nobody loves the basement. And we need to clean everything. We need to sort things up down there, and we need to basically be somebody who is going to be more organized.
Okay,
How they say, like, put your head back into game.
right.
So after that, we're having as well the new moon that it's happening. And all these things actually, like we mentioned, that actually it triggers Thursdays, and who didn't watch can watch. But the thing about this following week is that, don't force things, don't try to be the diplomatic kind of version of yourself, in a
Mhm.
way to be the peacekeeper, to be the provider, to be this, to be that. You do you, and everybody else, if they're following those advices, world would be an amazing place. So I think that we all need to stop with these aspects to follow our need to provide to other people.
Okay. So I guess for this following week, I mean, are we just going with the flow or what do we do? Because if everything is coming at us from every angle, retrograde planets, intense energy, new moon, are we just going with the flow?
We can go with the flow because right now there is no need to force things, like Mars is leading us, Saturn is putting us back, Mercury is going to next week, actually, the other one is going to go retrograde, but we are in pre-shadow retrograde mode of Mercury. Sometimes Mercury shadow can be sensed even for a month, before the actual aspect starts. So, everything that is happening for a reason. So in that case, there is no need to rush, force, and to fix things, because we are now in the fixing moment.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the cards and we'll see. Let's start with our root chakra. So this is our Mars. Let's see. Everybody's so concerned right now about Mars and Gemini, and it doesn't have to be a scary thing. Yes, it's going to be the next, 7.5 months, but every week those energies are going to shift. And I just had a card go flying. So dramatically, I really don't want to go pick it up, but let's see what it was. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. Work.
I have the Nine of Cups, which
Interesting.
is, wish fulfillment. I think that everybody's misunderstanding, everybody's heard somewhere on internet or whatever. Mars is going to be in Gemini for 7.5 months. Basically, he needs around a month and a half, like to go from one side to another one.
Mhm.
So we are going to have the retrograde seasons in Gemini and things like that. But the funny thing is that, who says that it's bad? Who says that it's bad to understand, like, what's below our feet? What is our core? What is our need, and where does it come from? With the Nine of Cups, we can all fulfill our wishes.
Mhm.
Maybe in that basement of yours, you're going to find some interesting clues, because Mars in Gemini originally means huge, endless library of knowledge.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we can look at that position of planet in a good way or a bad way. Like, there is always positive and negative. But like negative thing is like that we are all snapping all at once. Why is this? Why is this happening?
Mhm.
And whatever. So the position of how we view things, it's up to us. So like fix yourself, allow yourself to be somebody who is not seeing only the negative, because in people's nature, in human nature, is to only see the negative vibe.
Mhm. Well, it looks like we are doing the work, but at the same time, we have to ask for the abundance. Ask and you shall receive. So let's see what our Venus says here. So Venus is our sacral chakra, personal value, worth, how we love.
Venus. Well, it's interesting that Mars was the Nine of Cups and the
Mhm.
Venus is the Nine of Pentacles. So we have two nines right now. So the
Mhm.
Nine of Pentacles, as we know, is, for actually, first of all, our Venus is a chakra that contains like our sex appeal, charisma, how do we love, money, basically our creative energy. But the thing is, with the Nine of Pentacles, we are going to like almost get to the same level with Mars,
Right.
because Mars is in Gemini, Venus is in Leo, which means that those two planets are in sextile, which is really good aspect. So
Mhm.
finally, Mars understands what Venus needs. And this is something that I think that I mentioned in a previous video for previous week, because
Mhm.
that's something that it's, happening. I was preparing everybody for this week and the next one, as long as the Venus is in Leo.
Right. Interesting. And I have the Seven of Pentacles. So we have a lot of earth energy here. The Seven of Pentacles is essentially that trust the process. It is the go with the flow, as we just said. It is okay. Seeds are planted. They're not going to harvest overnight, but they will get there. And we can't speed that up. And funny, that's exactly what we did speak about last week, was the fact that we can't go busting out the miracle grow. We can't make things happen quicker. They're going to happen when they're meant to happen in due time. So very interesting there with Venus. Now our solar plexus is our personal power,
Yes.
and I have the chariot, which is full steam ahead.
Just a tower.
Yeah. Yeah. But when the tower moment hits, when we've taken that kick to the gut, the solar plexus, it's like, get up and go. We're
Yeah,
rebuilding.
this is
We're
this
having a
is more like,
breakthrough.
are you going to be so dramatic and
Yeah.
cry over
Yeah.
spilled milk, or are you just
Yeah.
going to sit in this chariot and drive away? And sometimes, because our solar plexus is our ambition, is our motivation, our personal power. Basically, what is your goal in your life? It comes from our stomach, our gut, or however who is saying that. The thing is that the tower moment, when it happens, it means that something needs to be destroyed, something needs to be collapsed, something needs to be redone in a way of like, let's start again, let's go from a beginning. And the chariot, because this is the major arcana, the major arcana is always happening instantly. It's happening so fast.
Mhm.
So these two cards, the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups in first two chakras, they're not the focused group. The focused group is our sun, is our solar plexus, is this Virgo season that we are right now in, where we can what? Organize our needs and our whole life.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's see what is our
Heart.
heart chakra. Okay, what's in the heart? So
Of course.
I have the Nine of Wands.
And I have the Justice.
So interesting about what you said a second ago. You said, are we going to cry over spilled milk, or are we going to get up and go? And, we've been through battles of the heart. Many of us have been hurt. We know that feeling. But justice is about bringing balance, right? So we have to let go of that old story of all the hurts in the past, because we need to finally get to a point of balance and get out of victim mode. Some people are living in that nine of wounds, as I like to call it, where that's the story that sort of you live with and you talk about and you tell everybody, but really that's just manifesting more of those wounds. We need to find the balance.
I would just say, play fair, be fair. If
Yeah.
you enjoy watching yourself and living in a way of poor me, yada, 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 or whatever, what do you think that you're going to manifest in your life? If your core is being fixed, it's
Yeah.
fixing, same as Venus, solar plexus is joining the party. Heart chakra needs to be cleansed as well because heart chakra is our moon. And we know that we are going to have our moon in Virgos. So, explain to me, are Virgos emotionally expressive?
Well,
Are
I'm a
they,
Virgo, and I
does
can
they
tell you,
love to, does they love to, express their feelings? How do they feel? Are they realistic kind of people in zodiac? Of course they are.
yes.
They are realistic, which means Virgos does not like people who says, "Oh, poor me," but yet sometimes they know how to act. I mean, not saying that every Virgo is the
No,
same.
no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but that means that, come on, like turn on the Virgo mode. We know that
Yeah.
the Virgo mode has the justice on their side.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the Libras, but the Virgos.
Yeah.
So because of the realism, realistic point of view, this is the wall, this is not the portal, this is not anything, this is the wall, I'm
Yeah.
knocking at that gate. Be that kind of person towards yourself because Virgos sometimes lose themselves, but act as a friend of Virgo. That's the thing, act as somebody who is asking advice from Virgo, but yet you're asking advice from yourself.
True. I think
Because
with the
Virgo is always
difficulty,
going to give amazing advice, perfect
well,
advice to everybody, but yet they're
yeah.
not listening.
It's interesting because as a Virgo, I know that, no problems of expression for sure. Can talk about any topic, can give very logical, unbiased advice. But when it comes to the emotional side of things, that's where Virgos lack because they're not the most expressive when it comes to their feelings. They see things so clearly that it's very hard to think with the emotions. And that's why, when you look at someone, for example, who's a Pisces, who's like the opposite on the zodiac or shares the same axis, there's so much of that emotion and that ability to cry and express, whereas Virgos don't really have that. So I think the side that you said that we're looking for here is the analysis, because I mean, what's the mantra of a Virgo? It's I analyze. You know what I mean? So it's being able to compute everything. So I think with the new moon in Virgo, the thing that I always think about is the moonology card that says assess the situation. And that's what a Virgo would do. So in this case, it's that we don't want to be in the poor me. We want to look at the facts and say, let's assess the situation and see where to go.
Okay, let's see the Mercury to see
All
how
right.
we're going to understand this.
Yeah. How are we going to express this? Well, the Knight of Wands. We're going to express it with passion.
With the Ten of Cups.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting, actually.
It is. It is. I'm thinking how to, heart wants what it wants. That's the
Yes.
fact. Like just be a realistic kind of person, but yet the Mercury asks for more. It's almost like ask for more, do more, whatever. And it's a bit like a mixture energy over here, but still, because our sun is being like under the tower moment, and we have heart chakra justice, and now we throw chakra, we have the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Cups. This is like let's have passion to achieve the Ten of Cups in our life, which is abundance, like happy family, happy union, happy life in general.
It's interesting because now that I'm looking back at the previous cards, we've had 3 nines. You had the 9 of Pentacles, right? You had the
Yeah.
9 of Cups, and I've
Yes.
had the 9 of Wands. And it tells me that we are really on the brink because that's us sort of closing out those cycles. That's that cleansing that we've been talking about. Whereas now it's come to it's almost like when you look at it go right up the chakras, you can see how what was important. Communication is key, right? So we're in Virgo season. What do Virgos do? They communicate. Now, they may not communicate with like all the emotion necessarily, typically, but I think what's going to change is if I look at Mars and Gemini, what is Gemini? Gemini's Mercury. You've got a more passionate, you've a more of aggressive, not so much in a bad way necessarily, but sort of that push. And like you said last week, Gemini is what sort of amasses the information and does the research. And Virgo's the one that analyzes it and communicates it. And so I almost feel like as we go up the chakras, here we go. We're going to now all of a sudden take everything that we've analyzed and collected, and now we're going to communicate it.
Exactly. So this is actually like us taking out the trash and the good info. So we have the trash from our basement and we have the good information. We have the pictures, we have the old photo albums, we have a lot of things, a place, we have all the world in our first chakra, and that's our basement, that's our, where everything lies. Because our first chakra is actually the chakra that contains all our traumas that we collect during this lifetime. So imagine now when Mercury gets into the game, Mercury enters in Libra, like saying like, this is that, this is yours, this is not mine, Libras are like that. Virgo is like being in a way of analyzing what Mars in Gemini is providing them. So Mars over here, Gemini are the cleansers, they are the cleaning ladies and guys, like who is doing all the job.
It's funny. I'm now looking back at all my cards and I'm recognizing the real process, because I just want to go back for a second and recap this. Because if the foundation and the root is the Eight of Pentacles and doing the work, so it's like I'm working hard, Now, of course, working smart is important too, but it's the idea is like I'm putting in the effort. It's going to take some time, which is frustrating. We need to trust the process. Everybody wants everything so quickly. They want instant gratification, but it's telling us to trust. And yet, look at this. We're moving forward. There's the chariot that says, don't worry, we're moving forward. We're going for it. And then you got the last minute tests and triggers that say, are you sure? Are you sure? But I used to live this way and I was hurt this time, and the heart's going, I kind of feel that emotional pain body. I feel that old stuff triggering me. And then out of nowhere, the Mercury goes, yeah. And it's going to like spew fire. You know what I mean? Like now it's going to like purification by fire. It's like, I'm going to like cleanse everything and go from there. So what an interesting progression actually through the chakra.
This is fast and amazing progression. And by the way, look at my solar plexus is the tower, and look at this dragon. Actually, like look at this.
Yeah.
Dragon, purification through fire. So let's see our Jupiter, our third eye chakra.
And very interesting. Huh. I went from the Knight of Wands to the Knight of Cups.
The Chariot.
Yeah. So interesting, because the Knight of Cups here, he looks like he's so victorious. The way he's holding that cup, the way he's like making a toast almost to like celebrate the fact that like, I look at these two cards and I almost think to myself, there was the knight busting into battle, going into that fire without any fear, even though they may have been triggered. They were like, I'm going to push through this fire, and the horse is just absolutely just galloping through. And then all of a sudden, the water put out the fire. In the sense that now all of a sudden, and you've got a water card there too with the Chariot. So you see, it's almost like there's the victory of letting the emotions come out. Do you ever notice that what sparks people to make change is the fire in the water? We have to get fired up. And then when we get fired up, all the emotions start to come out and then we release. So that's why sometimes, do you ever notice how like you have an argument with somebody, whether it's, could be romantic, doesn't have to be, you have that fight, you have that fire, and then all of a sudden that emotion comes out afterwards because you've had that fight. You had to let that stuff out in order to, relax or to put it at ease. But it's kind of interesting how it went from the Knight of Wands to the Knight of Cups.
Yes, because this is the card that contains, the Chariot, of course, is the Cancer card. It's ruled by Moon. It's this and that. This card, I always love the Chariot because in different interpretation of decks, because with the white and black, the sun and the moon, the opposites, we always have the opposites.
Yes.
And you now are talking about the opposites of the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, which is the fire and the water, and this is like, the song of fire and water, the dance, like the union of fire and water. And if I use the union of my previous chakra and Jupiter, so Mercury and Jupiter, 5 and 6 chakra, this is like everybody sitting on the table and eating. When we eat, we don't think about other people. How is he dressed? What is his natural element? What is this? What is that? We all have our need, and our need is to go forward.
Yeah, it is. It is. Interesting. Okay, so let's go and look at our crown chakra. This is our Saturn, correct?
Yes, this is our Saturn. This is our connection with universe. Let's see what Saturn says. Okay.
I got the 5 of Pentacles.
And I've got the 3 of Swords.
Do you know what makes me kind of laugh about this? Is that, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, thinking about Saturn, like Saturn's role, Saturn can be longevity, Saturn can be restrictions. It almost feels like there was like a restriction here of anything sort of coming in. It was almost like everything boiled to the top, and yet there was nothing that was needed to sort of come in. Like it was just, I don't know, maybe Saturn feels kind of left out. I get the sense.
No, do you know what I sense? How I see it, actually. I'm not saying that you're wrong.
No.
How I see it is like Saturn gives us, like Saturn, as well, the Neptune, the Pluto, they're all retrograde. Now the Uranus is, that is all like from our crown chakra, everything else is retrograde. What's happening? So Saturn says they agree, like the upper chakras, they agree, like, you know what? We're going to do something to make this everybody to clean their roots, to clean their basement.
Yeah.
So they make something amazing and beautiful that we try to achieve, but yet in doing so, we actually went into ourselves, into our basement, trying to fix and clean our, first chakra, because we need to know what is the order. So this is the good professor who says, you're not listening, you're not paying attention, so I will do the reverse psychology on you.
Okay.
So this is what Saturn is doing. Saturn is not going to give us, the 3 of Swords and what you hold is
5
what
of
did you say?
Pentacles. 5 of
5 of
Pentacles.
Pentacles. So we're not going to have the disappointment. We're not going to have the pain. We're not going to have like, I'm left outside alone for me, or things like that. No, this is the test from universe just to see, are you just the materialistic kind of person, or you want to work on yourself?
Well, do you really mean it? Because I mean, at the very bottom, we talked about the 8 of Pentacles. Did you really mean it when you were doing the work? Did you really put in all the effort? Actually, it's interesting. I said this on live the other day, that it's like the concept of giving up before the finish line. You're so close to the finish line, and yet people always want to give up just before the end of the race.
Yeah.
Wow. Miro, I feel like I'm almost speechless.
Well, Saturn is Saturn, he spent at the end, so that's it. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me. It almost just feels like it was almost like you get to the top and it's like you're shut down for a second to see whether or not you really, you're really willing to push.
There's like, what's behind the wall, let's check. There's nothing, there's the wasteland, like things like that.
It's like somebody put the lid on the pot, like all of a sudden, like nothing's coming through, and so it's really sort of testing you to see whether or not you're going to keep pushing forward.
Maybe we need to find in ourselves, in our basement, special sunglasses or glasses, wherever, in order to see what's on the, above that wall or whatever.
So interesting. Well, Miro, as always, such a pleasure. I can't wait to see what happens next week. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Kelly. Bye-bye.
Bye.